Test, test, 1, 2, 1, 2, test, test. You there? You there? There. Drip, 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 drip. What the hell? Am I tripping or what?
Sorry, bro, but this show's about me.
So, what was supposed to be a quick maintenance job, I was going to put a rear tire on the bike and do a 3 fluid change, flush the brake line fluid out, and just kind of give it a once over. Also, he said that the rear brake light switch was not working. Anytime he hit the rear brake, the lights wouldn't come on, so that's probably a rear brake light switch. So, got everything prepped. I was good to go. He shows up, drops it off, takes off. I start doing the oil change. I go over here to start taking the oil filter off, and I'm kind of struggling with it. Whoever did the last oil change put it on really, really tight. So out of my peripheral vision, I swear I saw something drip, and I looked around, I was like, no, I don't see nothing. So I was doing some other stuff, and I thought I saw another drip, and I'm like, what the hell? Am I tripping or what? Because I don't see nothing, and I'm touching nothing. It's the primary is so warm. He rode here. It's probably 20 miles, 20 minutes. So, long story short, I keep thinking I'm seeing something. I keep looking. I can't find it. So then I'm looking around, and I come this way, and I see like a couple drops, like 2 or 3 drops. I'm like, what the? I saw it. I know I did. So I get my flashlight, and I look, and I'm like, holy crap. It's leaking from the gas tank. Where the hell is it leaking from the gas tank at the bottom? So I'm looking around, I'm checking crossover line, I'm looking around where the fuel injection goes in, the fuel injection line goes in. I don't see nothing because I did just do some electronic compression release valves on this bike. And so I was like, well, I'm sure you're familiar with these. These will sometimes, some gas coming out of there, but these will sometimes, the O-rings will get messed up. So if it's never been removed or has been removed a lot of times, sometimes when you plug this back in, gas will just leak out of here. So when I worked on this bike not too long ago, I did just that, and I put it in there and it's leaking. So I have a little toolkit where I can get in there and I can take that one O-ring out and replace it while it's still on the bike. So I was like, well, maybe it didn't take, maybe I pinched it and it took a while for it to show itself. Well, that wasn't the case. So I'm looking around, and then he's got some switches because this bike's got like an air ride setup on it. Well, the way this switch mounts here, which I will be modifying, it sits way too close to the gas tank when everything's bolted up, and it kind of rubs a little bit there. So they had some clear plastic. So I was like, maybe that rubbed through the tank. And so I'm looking and looking. No, there's a big old wet titty. There's a big old wet bulge sticking out of the, that didn't sound any better. Anyways, there's a bubble sticking out of the bottom of the tank, and it's dripping. And so when I touch it, it cracks the paint, and then it starts leaking. I'm like, holy crap. It went from a small little once in a while to where drip, 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 drip. So I'm freaking out. I look under there. Sure enough, it's going crazy. I try to hook up to I have a tool. So what I have is I have a connector that hooks to the fuel injection line, and it's just a hose, and I put that in a fuel tank, and then I come up here and I made a little harness. Let me show you. So I made a harness. This isn't the one for this year model bike, but this is for later model, maybe bagger, I don't know. Anyways, so what I do is I plug this into the top piece, and then it's got a positive and a negative alligator clips, and I got them for most fuel injected bikes. So you plug it in, put it to the battery, and it turns the fuel pump on, and it just lets it run. So then it just shoots the gas out. Well, I did that, and I get like the dripping stopped. So it's like sucking air in, and you could hear it gurgling, and nothing was coming out. I'm like, there's something definitely going wrong in here. So sure enough, how did I do it? Oh, so anyways, I get like all these funnels and stuff under here, and I wrench, and I take the fuel line to where it pops off and it gushes gas, because of course he filled it completely to the top, which usually I tell him to bring it as close to empty as possible just in case, but this time I was like, it's just an oil change. Like, we've already done all the hard mechanicals on this bike. It's just an oil change, no big deal. So it was full to the top. Well, if I take the fuel injection pump stuff and I loosen the bolts, gas is just gonna spew out because that gasket actually holds the gas so that it'll hold up high. So I had to get as much gas out as possible so I could take that fuel injection off. So I do that, there's gas everywhere, I'm high as hell. So I'm starting to take this apart because I got all the fuel out. So we take it apart and pieces of the fuel pump. So I go to click it and I'm like, why is this coming up and why is that dangling down? Like, this is not making any kind of sense at all. And then I told him, dude, there's a bottle cap in your gas tank, because I'm looking from the top, I'm looking in once I got stuff out. He's like, what? And I'm like, yeah. Well, it wasn't a bottle cap, but it was submerged in the water. But see how it looks like, see the little edges kind of makes like a bottle cap look? Well, when it's submerged in the gas, it kind of looks smaller. So I was like, it looks like a bottle cap. Well, it's not. This is a part of the cushion that holds the fuel pump. And the actual fuel filter piece was just floating around in the bottom of the tank. It was just laying there. And I'm like, what the hell? Come to find out, the fuel pump, it's crazy because it's just plastic, but the fuel pump was sitting in the gas tank running while the bike's running, and it's just like rubbing and rubbing and rubbing. Guess what? It rubbed a little tiny hole this big in the bottom of the gas tank. You can see through it. It's crazy. I'm gonna go ahead and document this repair. So this is gonna be kind of crazy because this is a custom painted bike. I'm gonna remove the liner without damaging any of the paint. I'm going to weld and repair the bottom, which I'll show you that. I'm gonna weld up the hole. I'm gonna drill the hole out so I get some good metal. I was gonna say meat. Let's get some good metal to weld to. I'm gonna make a little patch piece. I'm gonna set it in there. We're gonna TIG weld it in there. We're gonna just kind of, not scuff it, we're gonna sand it down a little bit, but I'm gonna leave it some of the weld on there, and then we're just gonna body fill over the top of it. That way it stays strong. And then Gary's gonna color match it. We're gonna get it back, and we're gonna get this bike back on the road before September 24th when they head out for their 6,000 mile trip. Do you remember the white Fatboy that I did a video on where I did the compression release valves and all that stuff for him? This is the other bike. This is Matt's bike. So Matt and Randy Diorio are best friends. These guys travel. This bike, as beautiful as it is, that's right, this bike has put down some miles. They got a 6,000 mile trip planned for the end of September. So they're gonna leave here. They're going all the way up. I forgot. He knows all the names of all these cool passages and places to go. So they're gonna go all the way up, like past New York. They're gonna cut into Canada. They're gonna do that trip, 6,000 mile trip. Had this had happened on the road, they would have been in trouble because it's not like, oh, I need a fuel line. Oh, I need a spark plug. Oh, I need a tire. I need to rebuild my fork seals. My head gasket is blown. It's not that. It's a gas tank. Who has a 2008 gas tank in stock? I doubt any Harley dealership has one in stock. And if you do, you're gonna have to ship it. And then when it comes in, you're gonna have to take this gas tank off, ship it home. You're gonna have to put that stock one on, build it up, put it on, and then hit the road again. So good luck. Like, even an aftermarket tank would be hard to find, and then you got to switch all the components out. It's not going to be painted, which I think they would care, because look at these bikes. These bikes are badass. But anyways, you can finish the trip, but who knows where you're going to be? Are you going to be in Canada? Are you going to be in the US? Are you going to be on just headed out? Are you on your way back? Like, that could have been bad, you know? So we're gonna get Matt taken care of. We're gonna get this thing done, and come along with me. Let's get this bad boy. It's not a bad boy. There is a bad boy here now, but that's not the bad. That's a bad boy. The sick mofo done. All right, everybody, let's go. So I got the gas tank off. You can see where. Remember I said it was like blistering. That's where it is. You can see it right there. So let me get this blister stuff away. I'm going to go ahead and cut it out. Cut around it on the big bubbly part. Let's go around the edge here. So whatever's kind of sticking up. Oh yeah. It's going to have to be ground back pretty far. When I say that is because, just because whatever's sticking up doesn't mean that's all that's been damaged. I'm sure the gas has damaged it further back, but Now you can definitely see that hole. Crazy, right? Oh, gas is coming out. Good thing I put it on the shirt. So I'm gonna be honest with you, I don't think I need to patch it very much. I don't think I need to patch it like real big. So what I'm gonna do is probably put a drill and drill through it, and then maybe just come through and just weld it. I don't know. Not sure. Let me think about this. But I think I'm just gonna silicone bronze weld it in there, weld that hole, and that should be enough to fix the leak. The problem I'm having is, what if it happens again? I think extra metal in there would be great, but maybe go ahead and get this repair done and then just double check it. But it should be riding on that filter, and so as long as that's installed correctly, it shouldn't ever happen. I think what happened is, when they put it back together, maybe they didn't have the clips in there right, or maybe just threw it in there thinking that whoever put the tank on was going to go through and check it and everything. I don't know. I don't know the backstory on all of that. So all I know is I need to fix this hole and get him back on the road. So let me go ahead and finish taking out all the nice stuff, because we got a crossover line. I got to de-pin the gas gauge, remove the digital gas gauge, remove the pretty cover for the pop-up gas cap, and then, man, though, I'm gonna have to definitely fix it, because there's like grooves all the way down, and it's probably close to the thickness of my pinky. So I'm gonna tap on it with a hammer. Let's do that now. While we're at it, I'll show you this. This is a body hammer. See the little spike on it? What I want to do is just hold on. So I get this hammer with a little spike on it. I just want to tap on it and see how much of it starts to break apart. Oh, look at that. There it is. So as a cheater, I just kind of look and see. 7/16. I think a 7/16 drill bit would clean all that stuff off. So let me get one. So instead of a 7/16, I'm gonna get this countersink bit just to kind of clean it. Gonna go real slow. I can get it to stay lit. So that's a 1/2 inch, so not bad. What'd I tell you? What'd I tell you about a fingertip? Maybe make a necklace out of it. So I got that figured out. So now what I'm gonna do is probably cut me out a 1/2 inch circle, maybe with a hole saw or something like that, and then I can trim it down to where it just sits in there. Then I'll use a magnet from the inside, and I will tack it a couple places. You don't want to weld with a magnet. The magnet's gonna suck. It's gonna make the arc go all crazy. So tack it a couple places with that, take it off, TIG weld the hole shut, and then maybe do a light sand on it, and off it goes. We'll put a good liner. I'll put a new liner in it, and hopefully we'll get them on the way. So let me get this thing all broke down, and then I'll start prepping to weld it up. So I went ahead and got a piece of 16 gauge sheet metal. I put some die chem on it. It's a layout fluid, and I have a scribe. So what I'm gonna do is go ahead and go through the tank like so. Losing everything. Find the edge, the blue side, there it is. Gonna go just over. Now I'm gonna scribe it. Ah, it moved. Moved again. So it moved a couple times, so I went around a few times so that way I get a pretty close mark of what it looks like. That's what it looks like with the layout fluid. If you can see that, if I get out of the way, maybe it'll focus. But anyways, so now hit it with my shears a little bit, and then I'll go put it on the grinder and grind it out. Whoa, did you hear that? I'm gonna go get safety glasses. I'm gonna trim this up and then I'll be back. Wow. My fingers are on fire because this little tiny little plug got so hot in the grinder, grinding it smooth. So, all right, let me set this down so I don't lose them. Put on that blue piece there. Got me a couple of little heavy duty magnets. Put them in here. Somewhere. Where? Oh, I was way high. Grab another one just to do the other side. Okay, got the magnets in there. Little plug. And there she goes. You. Nice and flush. Now the one part I hate on a painted tank is trying to find a place to put the ground. So what I am gonna do is, I'll go ahead and put some tape on these lower pieces here. That one I don't have to tape up. I'll probably put some tape on this one, and then I'll tape the bottom, and I'm gonna put a hose in. Actually, I'll probably put the hose in here, and I'm gonna turn my argon on, because I have for purging. So basically I'll do this like I'm purging, and that's gonna put argon in here to fill up the tank, so that way I don't get, just in case there's a little pocket of gas fumes, I don't wanna blow up or shoot flames out something. So I'll tape everything up. I'll put the argon in here, the hose in here, turn it on about 5 PSI, tape it up, tape up some of the high pieces, and then I'll leave the drain hose on this far side open, so that'll let it go out so it doesn't build up with pressure. And yeah, that's what we'll do. So we'll go ahead and get this thing taped up. That is such a good fit. There's a little bit of gap, so it might pull a little bit, but I'm just gonna go through and just weld it all in, and then I'll hit it with a grinder to grind it smooth a little bit, and then let him body fill it, grind out the rest of it. This tank should be done. Oh, I'll have to reline it. So I'll have to, once that's done, we'll plug it all up with my plug kit. We'll put some solution in there, let it eat up the liner, remove the liner, reline it, and go from there. So it'll be a couple of days to let everything work out, but let me get these holes taped up. I'm gonna go ahead and turn on the gas so that it'll start purging it while I go hook up the cables and everything for the welder. So let me do that. I hear it running. Let me get this put together. All right, I'm not gonna lie, this always makes me nervous. Don't do this at home. Take it to a shop that knows what they're doing. Even though I've done it a few times, I still get scared. Yeah, just be careful. Don't do this at home. Take it to somebody that can do it, that knows how to properly flush it, knows how to properly do all the stuff. Read this right here. That's right, and that means you. Take it somewhere that knows what they're doing. Anyways, here we go. I do believe I heard the magnets drop, so let me get in there and see if that is true. Put my hand right on it. Hot, yep. I hear 'em moving. Let's just get them out just to make sure. They're probably at the very bottom of the tank, so I'm gonna leave them there. Go ahead and tape this back up. Kind of seems like, I guess there's a coating on this tank, so what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna go ahead and get my little Scotch-Brite pad and kind of grind around it because it's throwing black smoke. I don't know if it's from the magnets or something on this. So let's just do that just to make sure this is extra clean. What's going to use the Scotch-Brite? Decided to go ahead and use a 60. No. 60 grit, yeah. So I can get into some fresh metal. Yeah. See where it's dark gray and now it's silver? Yeah, there's a coating on this tank. So I'm gonna go ahead and grind all this around so I'll get a nice clean weld. All right, we should be good. And the welder crazy hot also, so let's turn it down. Ground, you idiot, ground. We did it, and we're alive! Holy smokes. Let's see if you can see in there. There it is. See how there's no crust or anything crazy? Full penetration is like purge welding, like they do when they do stainless. So that's full penetration, so I'm very, very happy with that. Sweet! So now I can go ahead and grind it out, and on the outside, I just want to knock off a little bit of the high edge and just let them put a little bit of body filler. I'd rather have a little bit of body filler on the outside than less weld holding that patch together. So I'm going to grind that out, and we'll get it stripped. We'll get it prepped to start stripping the liner. Oh yeah, the magnets, I found them. Who knew welding magnets would demagnetize them? They won't even stick to anything, and it broke this one in half. Who knew? There was a little piece of metal in here too. There it is. Now I am being careful with it because we don't want to repaint the whole thing, but they're gonna have to sand the outer side of the whole tank so that way they re-clear it. So little tiny little scuff marks won't be bad. You don't want to like really gouge it. God, that's so, that came out so good. Stoked. So that I can make quick work of this grinding, excuse the hair, I went ahead and got me a brand spanking new 60 grit disc. That way, when I hit this, it's not gonna have to sit there and work on it so I don't get it too hot. I can just beep, 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 beep. Like I said, I just wanna knock some of the high edges off, let them bondo over it and be gone. It's a little more than, sorry, you missed it. And there you have it, nice and flat. Ready to be cleaned. I will go ahead and when I seal everything up, I might do a little pressure test on it just to make sure I didn't accidentally leave any pinholes, but I really don't think I did with the way it looks on the inside. But I have to get my plugs out. I gotta plug this, I gotta plug these, put a cap in it, and then I have a plate that goes over this, so when I put the plate on, that should have everything plugged up. You only want to put about 5 psi or less, about 5 psi. Spray a little bit of soapy water on there. If you see bubbles, fix it. If you don't, move on. If you do anything more than that, you're going to distort the tank and you're going to mess it up. So on Matt's tank, I went ahead and did a little removal of the liner that was in the bike from the factory. When it rubbed that hole, it scratched, it wore a hole in the liner, and then gas was starting to get under the liner, and now it started to separate. So to kind of nip that in the butt before he has problems down the road with liner coming loose and clogging up his filter for the fuel injection, I decided I would go ahead and remove the liner, and I'm going to go ahead and reline the tank. Now, it is a process. I think you should take it to somebody that has done it before. I don't recommend people doing it on their, especially if you got a custom paint job, because you don't want it to eat all of that stuff. Now, this bike has had a few paint jobs, so that's why you see a couple of different colors, but You can see, let me get a light. Okay, so as you can see, no more liner.
Several months later.
Matt just got back. I didn't get a chance to line the tank after I did the repair. The weather was kind of cold, and the first time I lined it, it came out like crap. And so I told him, let me just strip it. It'll be fine for a trip. Go do your trip and get back, and then we'll get it taken care of. They rode the Softails from here to Nova Scotia. 6,000 miles they rode on these Softails. He did just bring the bike back so that we could go ahead and take the gas tank off, and I could go ahead and properly line the inside of the gas tank. We're still not going to do paint repairs. That was another thing. We weren't sure if we were going to be able to get the paint repaired in time, so it just has some rattle can paint on the outside just to keep it from rusting or anything. We'll get the tank off. I'll get that line. We'll get it put back on. Yeah, so that's what we're doing.